Welcome to this month's edition of the Clubroom Show. Where would you find MMA, Belfast Breakfast Pops, and Olympic rowing? Right here in this month's edition of the Clubroom Show. I'm joined by Marek Yakovovich, Sam McCormick, and Rebecca Edwards. So, great to have you all here. Rebecca, you just recently retired from rowing. Most people would be happy to go to one Olympic Games. You've had the privilege of going to 2 Olympic Games. So tell us about sort of when you decided that, when enough was enough and you said to yourself, right, I don't want to row anymore. Maybe it's time to do something else or change my routine or go and maybe think about it.
Well, it's been a hard decision. I've had to weigh everything up, but it felt like the right time for me because I feel like I've had a great experience. I've enjoyed it all. I've had my challenges and I've come through them. And for sport, you kind of put your life on hold a little bit. You're only sort of focusing on the Olympics and nothing else. And it felt like the right time to sort of go, well, what else is out there and what else can I put my mind to?
And was part of you not thinking maybe hold on to the Commonwealth Games? It's in Glasgow in 2026. Were you thinking maybe do the Commonwealth Games then retire, or was your mind ready made up no more?
To be fair, the Commonwealth Games would be super interesting, but at the minute I don't think they're including rowing in the programme.
Yeah, they've limited to 10 sports now,
yeah,
and a lot of countries don't even want to host the Commonwealth Games. That's
the thing.
It's lost a lot of.
But definitely, if it was on the programme, it would have been something that could have changed my mind. All right.
And how's sort of the first few weeks? Obviously, your routine's going to change. You don't really have to. Your body's probably thanking you, saying, I don't have to go through any more pain here. I can actually rest, so you can actually maybe do things that you didn't have time to do.
Yeah, definitely. I've been able to spend time with my family.
Yeah.
Like my sister, she's just recently engaged, so I'm being able to help her like plan her wedding and stuff like that. Things that I always have to say no to. So many people say, oh, I'm having a birthday party or I'm getting married, and I say, well, I can't make that because I've got trials or I've got a regatta or something. Like Sam, that's sort of the way it goes in rowing. But at the moment, I'm able to actually do them things and enjoy it.
And looking back, obviously Paris and Tokyo, 2 very different Olympic Games. Obviously Tokyo with the whole, it didn't go as planned for it to be in 2020. Was there any differences for you? Did you enjoy one more than the other between Paris and Tokyo, them 2 Olympic Games?
Hugely different.
Big difference.
Hugely different. Like the main thing is just in Paris, like you had all the crowds, your family could come, everybody was watching on TV because it was only an hour ahead, in the same sort of time zone. Whereas Tokyo, no crowds, you weren't able to celebrate with your family and friends even before going out to Japan. And so it just felt like you were going there for a sporting event, but there was no sort of sense of celebration or achievement or anything like that. Whereas Paris was like, right, this is what's going on. There's 30,000 people in the grandstands, and then after you finish, you could go and watch like the athletics and take part. Was there
anybody you did do like when you had time to go and watch something? Is there any sports other than rowing that you did want to go and watch?
Oh yeah, I watched the 100 metres sprint finals for men's, which was amazing. Seeing Noah Lyles win that, and then the relays and stuff. Very, very exciting. And I even went to like skateboarding. And fencing, sports that I wouldn't really know too much about, but this opportunity was there and I thought, why not?
Were you expecting the really rowing to be as successful? The amount of medals were brought back, Anna Scott, Rebecca Shorten, we achieved so much with that, and Philip Doyle and all these rowers. So the future of rowing is very bright in terms of more medals to come in the future.
Oh, definitely. I think like the rowers from Northern Ireland is just unbelievable. Like we're a small country but came back with 3 medals from rowing. Like that's crazy, and there's so many.
More than boxing.
That's the thing.
Boxing's supposed to be our go-to for a medal, especially in the Commonwealth.
And there's so many countries that go and compete at the Olympics. So for a small country like ours to go and compete with the best in the world and come back as the best in the world in the cases of like Hannah and even Reese McClenaghan, like it's just brilliant. So I was really, really proud to be a part of that.
Yeah. Maybe you'd go into a bit of coaching and start coaching Sam to get for LA.
Well,
and get loads of trips there.
So I'd need to get a bit of an experience of that, but no, I definitely like to stay involved in the sport, and I feel like rowing's given so much to me. Yes, it's sport, but you learn so much more through that.
Yeah, so. And Sam, you're recently just started your rowing career, so you've all this to come. So what type of, obviously getting to a role model like Rebecca to look up to and sort of you're going to have all these tips and knowledge to do. So what sort of position are you in terms of how, like, your routine, obviously studying and rowing,
Yeah.
and sort of that trying to fit it all in a week? Do you find it quite hard sometimes to sort of adjust and get it?
Yeah, like it is a challenge,
Yeah.
like especially I'm studying medicine, so
Right.
trying to balance the rowing alongside that is tough. Actually, I started rowing when I joined Queen's,
Okay.
so even that was like a big change, like trying a new sport and then getting like so deep in it so quickly. But then the likes of Rebecca, she also started rowing at Queen's, so it's inspiring to see someone like who has actually done it before. And yeah, it's just by trying to balance all the training with the hours in hospital.
When did you decide you wanted to become a rower? Did you try any other sports, or was it just you just wanted to be? I want to be a rower. Were you actually doing maybe two sports together at some stage?
Not really actually. So when I was younger, I would have swam competitively, but I actually kind of stopped that around kind of like 6th year of school.
Okay.
And then I
So you're always water sports. Swimming,
always water
always
sports,
water.
yeah. But yeah, then when I came to uni, I just really wanted to get involved with like kind of try something new. And my granny was actually the one who suggested me to try rowing because both my uncles rowed when they were in school at Methody.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what, I'll give it a go.
That's sort of the generational thing.
And then just kind of hooked ever since, really. Yeah.
And we talking about trying other sports. Would you ever try at some stage like going to an MMA ring?
Do you know what? I have a lot of respect for MMA fighters because
A different type of pain. You have to roll
Yeah.
after a row, you're sort of exhausted, but then you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about somebody coming and punching you, taking
Exactly.
you down, putting you in a sort of a submission hold.
exactly, you get nervous about the start, but those guys are getting in there and they're getting well, maybe not nervous, but people are going to be hitting you like that's different.
And when you're talking about sort of all these other Olympics, there's a chance that boxing is not going to be included in LA.
Oh really?
Yeah, there's a chance that boxing ain't going to happen.
I
So
heard about the wrestling as well.
I said to yourself there, is there a gap now, and people have called for this for a while, that MMA could be included in the Commonwealth or Olympic Games? Would you like to be CMA in the Olympics and something that you can medal in?
It's a tough question because it's definitely not gonna be the way like of pro fights there, because there's too big, like in case of the injuries, because like 3 minutes, 5 minute rounds, like on the pro rules, when you can use the elbows, knee to the head, and
Do you think that if the
I
rules
think-
were adapted,
no,
you could
definitely not the professional rules, but I think the future is for the amateur MMA for sure, like the IMAF
Yep.
organization, wherever they fighting out like semi rules, amateur rules, so there's no knee to the head, no elbows at all. They have the shin guards, so it's like would be like softer than pro rules, and I think that would be perfect suit for
because
Olympic
you
Games.
see all these other sports, like the Olympics has changed through the years.
Yeah.
The amount of sports just keep on growing.
I hear other day on some kind of interview, someone said that they plan to put the MMA as a like showcase discipline for 2032 Olympic Games to show to everyone, like So maybe there's like some rumors that
And
something
over
that
the
will
years,
change.
you've been involved in MMA for a lot of years. What changes have you seen, or have you seen people?
To be
come
honest, I'm not that long.
Not that long?
No, 7 years. That's what I do.
Before that,
Before that, I was a sprinter. I was athletic.
Right.
So yeah, I was training before that.
100 meters?
Yeah, like from 100 to 400,
100 to
but
400.
with not that high level.
Yeah.
And then I
So
came to.
instead of you've got the speed and fists instead.
Yeah, I prefer running before I start fighting. So
can run
yeah,
away from it.
basically I just start like MMA just randomly, just for get some fun, because I always want to try it.
What part of MMA do you like the most? Are you more of do you like to stand up and trade with them? Are you more of a grappler? Do you like to get them the ground chance and or do you sort of alter that depending on your
I
opponent?
like to as long I train and as long I learn new things, I like to mix it up everything, because whenever I get confident and more high level on every stage, I try to mix it everything all around.
And would you ever give Rowan a go?
I feel you might be quite good.
That's-
I could see it.
You got the arms.
Yeah. I'm
It's
definitely with the fitness with the run.
You got the fitness.
Yeah.
it's all about that muscle management, how to management your cardio
See,
for that
you
kind
could
of.
trade an MMA session for a road
Because
session.
I'm not a-
It would be
I'm
interesting-
not a
it'd be
good
interesting
swimmer
to
for
see,
sure.
That would make a good
No,
podcast.
no contact, but you could teach one MMA one run it. But
It's MMA, it's perfect sport, even to do it not really for combat or sparring, but just learn new skills,
Self-development.
like
Yeah.
focus, hand-eye. You need to fast reaction, so it's really good for all over activity.
yeah. So what would be your favorite breakfast?
My favorite breakfast. It depends if it's before or training
Yeah.
or day off.
A Belfast bat maybe.
That's for a day off, not
Day
before
off.
training, but day off for sure, 100%.
What
good to
about
go.
Rowan, open the side? Like, when people, do you think people's stats change? Like, there's things you're not allowed to eat. Sort of as a professional person, you're sort of seeing that being all these athletes are supposed to be all these clean eaters. But do you think as soon as then you say retire, you go right, fry? No.
Well, I haven't done that, but to be fair, like with Rowan, I'm not sure if it's the same for MMA, but like we just have to eat. Like there's
Calories more.
Yeah,
Big swimmer.
5,000 calories.
Michael
but-
Phelps ate so much.
Oh yeah, the swimmers eat a lot as
Eat
well.
a lot of stuff.
But yeah,
And you only get so much of that of healthy food. You need all this other food to try and get the.
In most cases in MMA, or you are heavyweight,
Yeah.
but
you
every
have good weight.
we have a weight classes, so we need to be like really strict, especially with the fight camp with our calories.
That's another interesting question. Have you always followed that same weight category? Are you going to move up or
I,
down?
I always like sometimes it depends, like wherever the younger guys are easier to make the lower categories wherever they can adapt.
Define younger.
Like 20s, I would
20s?
say. Yeah,
Oh, you
around 30s, over 30s. Sometimes your metabolism is changing. It's hard to, especially like for bigger guys, it's hard to start the same weight cut as like 5-10 years before.
I would say that retirement, you wouldn't see anybody maybe doing MMA under 40s or 50s. So they still
See,
trying to
these
go-
days it's not a problem because
Yeah.
everyone are scary about the MMA, but MMA is like really compared to boxing, it's much more safe.
Yeah.
Much more safe because in boxing you have what 10-12 rounds,
Yeah.
3 minutes each, and basically you focus on punching to the head all the time, mix it with body, and because if MMA you have a wrestling and grappling, you
Yeah.
can take someone down and there's no punching at all.
No.
And even if you get knocked down or knockout, there's one punch, maybe one after that, and the fight
Yeah.
is over.
Well,
There's
what's
no,
like Tyson, everybody's got a plan to get punched in the face. It's not right.
until you get a punch in the face. It's all about it.
So
Even
what?
getting punched in the head, we're given the same sentence
You
for me.
get,
Like,
yeah, somebody run, you get an elbow in the face maybe if you're running too close to each other. But what I was going to say, so that's absolutely fantastic. I really appreciate you coming today. If obviously we're near the end of the year, if there's one thing you'd like to achieve in 2025, what would it be? I'm going to start with Rebecca. I'm moving my way across that. One thing you want to achieve in 2025. It can be something sport related or non-sport related. It can just be something you would like to do next year.
I haven't given much time to think. Do you know what? At the minute, I'm actually really enjoying running.
Right.
So
Park run,
well, maybe yeah, but I think I'd like to.
Belfast Marathon.
Yeah, I'd like to do a marathon.
Really?
Because it's so, with Rome we do a lot of aerobic training, so I have the aerobic base, but I need to train up the.
Full marathon, not a relay, no, full marathon.
No, I'd like to do a full
Full
marathon,
marathon.
maybe, yeah. Although maybe I shouldn't say that on tape. I'll have to make it comfortable to myself.
you're committed now.
Don't edit that out. That's a promise. 4th of May, Belfast Marathon.
Well, fingers crossed. Yeah.
Sam, what about yourself?
So with this being my last year at uni, like I just kind of want to get through my final exams and stuff,
Get
and then
qualified.
I'll be working as a doctor then come end of July, and with it being my last year, kind of doing university rowing, like I just kind of want to have like a very successful season, like want to do something cool at like British universities and maybe even like the likes of Henley and stuff as well.
Okay, excellent. Mark, yourself, what would you like to achieve next year?
I would love to be just healthy.
Healthy?
And us gonna be healthy, free injured, and do as many fights I can in next year.
Do you have like a set mind how many fights you want to do per year?
It's hard to plan because some fights could be down
Right.
in like 30 seconds to 2 minutes,
Or
free
how-
injured.
How much how much injuries
Exactly.
you sustain through
Exactly,
the fight? Yeah.
Exactly, it's all about it. So hopefully I'm looking out for get some fight before Christmas. Still, like I'm stay ready in case something show up on short notice. I'm gonna take it to stay active. And
We'll
then-
come to it. Keep us updated. We'll go.
And
We'll get a
then-
banner made.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
And then-
We'll have a table full of Belfast Baps. Everybody
Oh,
will shout
yeah.
with a Belfast
Oh,
Bap. Big-
that's
big
brilliant.
screen. That's great.
Brilliant. And next year I would love to have as many fights I can because I'm not gonna get any younger after that. So I
Will
just
be
gonna
24, 25?
I would love to.
Plus fat. Okay, so this is part of the show which is very interesting. We get our guests to each ask each other a question, something they might want to know or something they might find interesting. It could be about their sport or something else. So this is a great way of getting to know each other. So Rebecca, any sort of questions for our guests, anything you've been listening to that you're really interested in, you want to find out more about?
Yeah, so Mark, I'll ask you a question.
Yeah.
So obviously MMA is all mixed martial arts, but which martial art are you the best at?
See, in these days, it's hard to say about the mixed martial arts, like to separate for martial arts, like
Yeah.
wrestling, kickboxing,
Okay.
or jiu-jitsu, because these days young kids or teenagers starts doing strictly MMA. Years ago, years ago, wherever was like not that high level MMA on the world, they were like people doing like each sports separately. So they were going for wrestling training, then jiu-jitsu training, then kickboxing training. But now because for last few years they evolved so big, now there's just the kids just starting MMA and they learning MMA, acting and how to react for everything in the MMA cage.
Yeah. Would you say that you've got one that you're a bit better at though?
I can say like I feel more comfortable on the ground with the grappling, just probably because of my physique. It's easy, sometimes easy to hold someone to not
Yeah,
move.
fair enough.
Yeah.
And then Sam, what was I going to... Oh yeah, where would be your favourite training destination for rowing?
I have to say Banyoles. We did a really fun camp over there a couple of years ago, and yeah, just good memories.
Sun,
Heat,
lovely flat water.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Well, it wasn't a very flat one we were there, to be honest, but I'll still take the waves over over the cold lagoon, like.
Yeah.
I kind of got a question for both of you. It's kind of weird, and kind of similar. So Rebecca, if you were to take like any like famous or fictional person in a pair, who would it be? And if you were to take a famous fictional person like in the cage to fight, who would it be? Yeah, they're not your team, like you're fighting them, but they're your team.
Gosh.
Anyone you want. They can be dead as well. Dead or alive.
Oh, I'm trying to think. That is such a good question.
Would you say fictional
Well, we're famous.
or famous? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like a celebrity or
I'm
something?
trying to think. There's a lot of different people because there's all different qualities, isn't there? Like I could go for someone like, I don't know, like Usain Bolt. Like that would be good.
Yeah.
It'd be very quick. Like, but then you could pick someone I don't know who's like kind of funny. Like.
You want someone with a bit of crack as
well?
well.
Like Alison Hammond on British Bake Off.
Yeah.
Like, that would be good crack. So I suppose it's really what your kind of aim is. I can't go. I think, yeah, I think Usain Bolt. He's iconic, pretty quick, sporty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're thinking about the result, but you're thinking
Yeah.
about the result. She's
Yeah,
thinking about the result.
That's a brilliant question.
It's a hard question. Like, I would go probably for more like MMA celebrity. So I would go probably for my goat. So George St. Pierre. I would go with him just because he's best of the best. So if you want to be the best, you need to be the best.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Good answer.
And after that, you can retire after that one.
Oh, definitely.
You can retire after that
He
one
would
fight.
make
Don't
me-
need to fight
He
again.
would make me retire.
That's the retirement thing.
Yeah. So my question to you, Rebecca, is after you competed in your first Olympic Games, do you feel still hungry for another Olympic, or you feel like you get your goal and you feel like no motivation for training after that?
That is actually a really good question, and honestly, as soon as I finished competing in Tokyo, I knew that I wanted to go for Paris. I just felt like I could go quicker, I had more to achieve, but for me, personally as an athlete, it just felt like I hadn't seen my best yet.
Yeah.
So I knew as soon as we took the boat off the water, I was
That give you that kick for motivation.
Yeah, it really did. It did, yeah.
Yeah. And if you're not afraid about that when you achieve your Olympic, and you're gonna be like, or any goal you have, like in the future. if you go big, don't go big. So if you're gonna go for the Olympic, you're not afraid to lose motivation after that. Because I know myself, it's usually like from fight to fight, and when the fight is over, there's a moment when you feel like, where's my goal now? Where's my motivation?
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Well, no, I'm not quite Olympic standard, just disclosure there. But
What about Commonwealth standard?
well, we'll say that.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
But I don't know. I personally find after a competition, I even if it goes badly or if it goes well, I'm just get really hungry for the next one. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it always gives me a good kick.
Yeah.
Anytime I finish competing, I'm keen to get back for the next thing. Really. Yeah.
Always for looking what you can get better.
Yeah, always looking.
The only thing I like about Rome is get you wearing fancy sunglasses.
Oh,
Yeah, we do get nice.
Yeah.
sunglasses.
You do get nice
I've got
glasses.
some
Do you have a
really
favourite
nice
pair, or how long does the glasses last? Do you change glasses? No.
We got lovely ones. Are you allowed to say the brand name?
Yeah, go ahead. Well,
We got lovely ones from Oakley in Paris, and they are brilliant. Like wrap around. Like,
big shout out to Oakley.
yeah, big shout. Like if you want
Other brands are available.
If you want to send any more, carry on. But yeah, you get comfortable with what you wear, don't you?
You do, although like on the student budget, like Oakley's
Yeah,
quite
no,
in the
that's
range.
fair. I didn't have them either when I was.
Do you ever break them?
No, you
I
need to
actually
be careful. Well, I know people who do, but you need to be careful.
Some people drop them in the river and stuff as well.
Yeah,
but-
friend-
Would you ever wear a pair to the ring, like a pair of sunglasses? No.
You can.
What here? What's your,
Neither did I.
what's your entrance music? Do you have like a song?
I don't have a like typical. It just depends what part of my life I'm listening now. So I'm listening to music at the moment. So I never pick like one song, and I'm not should try to stick to one song because it's like create like.
Yeah, like
specific-
superstitions. and
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
Yes,
And sometimes
fair.
when something goes bad, you start to looking for some, because I picked that song, so now that was
Yeah.
bad.
What
So
would your
that's why
what
I'm
would your
not
walkout
sure.
music be? But you have to pick a song.
Now I don't know.
I was thinking like Top Gun. The fly into the danger zone. No.
We're like Rocky
To
Balboa
the
vibes.
danger zone.
Like,
Yeah,
You know,
it
a lot
would
of,
be
like,
something to
Yeah.
get you like
Rocky
hyped
motive
up.
as well. Like there's some song from
Yeah.
Rocky movies. So
yeah.
I think Roar should get walk-on music as well. If you could have a Roar walk-on music, what would you have? They started doing
Well, we
athletics.
kind of do. We have like our 2K songs. I asked you about that the other day.
Yeah.
Top Gun, Danger Zone.
I'm actually a big fan of Eminem.
Right.
Just because, you do 2,000 meters on the rowing machine.
Okay.
As fast as you can. That's like your standard rowing
Have
test.
you got that in when you're doing it?
Yeah.
What have you?
Yeah, I would have I love Eminem because it's just very rhythmical, very on the beat, and I just getting it done, and then
Do
you
you
can
see him?
start
Just
winding
Eminem or?
See, I tend to be a bit of like a flying dyer, so I need to do something like to keep me calm at the start. So
Yeah.
like
Scooter? I don't know.
no regrets by
Hardcore
dapping.
rock
That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And then just something a bit like more like hard style kind of the end to hype me
Yeah.
up. But
Oh, so you have it all timed?
Yeah.
So you've
Oh,
got
God,
to
yeah.
pace
it's
yourself.
about
Alright.
like well, it depends how fast you're going, but like 7 to 8 minutes of music, kind of.
Yeah.
And what about walking to the ring? Your song, do you wear anything going to the ring? Just fight t-shirt? Just
I usually it's just a fight T-shirt,
Just
and
fight t-shirt.
wherever I was fighting like someone in Europe, I just have a flag of my country on my back, and that's all it what you need.
that's it.
Yeah, after that you need to take off your T-shirt, they put the Vaseline on your eyebrows, and you go.
Interesting. Well, thanks very much. That was interesting to hear all, especially the entrance music. But if anybody wants to use Top Gun, that'd be great. Cheers. Thanks.